Hello and welcome to,
Hey, we like your pod.
and we're going to tell you why. Hi, it's Dawn here, and I'm joined as always by my trusted partner, Matt Pickett. How you doing, Matt? Good to see you.
I'm doing well. Tomorrow is like a field day for one of my kids' schools. I'm going to be there to help with like volunteering to run the stations and stuff like that. And this week has been just kind of a weird week, but not a bad week. Oh, if people didn't see on Twitter, the group I work with, my unit at work, won the best advising unit of the year at UC award. So very, very proud of my coworkers for the hard work they put in to make an impact for the students we work with. So that was the highlight of the week. And also, I nominated one of my direct reports for the academic advisor of the year in a different different award show. There's 2 award shows this week. It's kind of weird. One for arts and sciences, and she won that one. So I was really proud of her for that. So it's been a good week. A lot of people getting celebrated for stuff. So love to see it.
That's fantastic. And you're part of that team too. So that was your award too, right? Yeah.
True. But I mean, it's, I'm just excited about the group for that. So
Sure. It's a team effort. Well, I am very proud of you and not surprised.
Thank you. How about your week, Dawn? How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I survived my DMV appointment yesterday. I am not a fan of the DMV. I'm not a fan of anything that requires following instructions. Like when you buy things and it comes with instructions. Mm-hmm. I open them, I look at them, and I throw them away. I'm just like, I cannot. I don't know what it is. I am a big fan of YouTube because there's a lot of things you can just like look at a video. Mm-hmm. That's a lifesaver for me. But I got my notification to renew my driver's license, and it said it's been like 15 years, so you need a vision test. And so I'm like, oh, okay. And I made the appointment. I didn't even open the mail. I'm not a fan of opening mail either.
How do you function exactly, Dawn?
I just don't know. Anyway, so sometimes I get surprised. And so it was my birthday last month. And I was like, I wonder when my driver's license, I wonder if I think it's this year. And do I have something from the DMV? So yeah, I'm very organized. So I knew right where the letter was. And I opened it and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. It's just, I've got a lot on my mind. And so I knew right where it was. So I made the appointment, which is a big deal for me because my friends are like, just make an appointment. Make sure you make an appointment if you have to go in. And one of my best friends is like, I'll bring you. Well, I'll bring you for moral support because they know how I am.
That's a good friend right there.
Oh yeah, I took her to lunch. Anyway, so I was like, okay, and I made the appointment and I got the confirmation number and I wrote it down because of course they don't send you the confirmation number. You have to write it. It's like I did a screenshot. And it's like they're very backwards at the DMV. They're just so backwards. So then I was like, oh, maybe I should just have my eyes. I was going to get my eyes tested like in December or something. And the doctor actually canceled the appointment and then never rescheduled. I was like, I don't want to go to the DMV twice. So I'm going to get my eyes tested and get new glasses in case I need them, just in case I fail the test so I don't have to go twice. So then I had to change my appointment. I made the appointment. I got glasses and the doctor's like, I have very good vision. I don't hardly need any glasses at all. I can drive easily without glasses. But, like for the Packer game, I was like, I wonder if my prescriptions would be better. But my prescription is so slight, I can hardly tell the difference.
Oh, nice.
So, but I didn't know that. And so I wanted to make sure. So I got new glasses and all this stuff. And I finally got another appointment. I had to cancel it another time for something else. Got there yesterday. And I was like, oh, I guess I should have brought the paperwork. Oh, I'm in line. Or I'm actually starting to think about it while we're driving there. We're driving there, and I'm like, I wonder if I have my old driver's license with me.
Not good enough.
Because I change purses a lot, and so just, and then so I'm like, I wonder if I have. Oh, I didn't bring the paperwork. Oh, I wonder about that confirmation number. And so I was in line, and yeah. See, I'm like one of their favorite type of people,
right?
But I'm super fun, and I laugh about everything, and I'm always smiling. And
there you go.
They were very nice to me. And I made it through, and I made the vision test without my glasses, even though I have new glasses now, but whatever. And so that's that. So I made it through, and I really felt like celebrating. That was a pretty big deal for me. I don't do well in those situations.
Well, let's talk about your glasses for a second, Dawn. Okay. So people who are listening should check out the YouTube this week. If you haven't yet, Dawn has new glasses on. I think they're fantastic. I've got to say, like, really, I'm not going to describe them because people got to check out the YouTube for this. But they're great. Statement glasses. Big fan, Dawn.
Yeah. So thank you. So these are my computer glasses. These are my live stream glasses officially. I will say one hint, you do have to come and look at them. I literally got them like not even an hour ago. So I wasn't sure how they would look on me because I bought them online. Anyway, they're green. They're green. They're more green on the sides. They're dark green. And then anyway, so they're green. And then I'm trying to see, is there gold on them? Yes, there's a little bit of gold too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So they're green and gold. But these are for closer up. So the vision for driving, which I don't need, evidently, those glasses are a little different. They're sunglasses, basically. So anyway, but I got two different pairs because he's like, well, because I'm getting a little older. He said, you're starting to have trouble reading. And I'm like, yeah, it's a little blurry. In a lot of times when I live stream, I'll wear glasses because looking at the screen to read the script, it helps a lot. And he said, well, it's only going to get worse. I just want to tell you, he must have said it 3 times. He was this old guy. I'm like, thanks a lot. Anyway, so that's that. As we age, it's not our eyes that change as far as having to need glasses for, those reading glasses. It's because your eye muscles get weaker.
Oh.
So there are exercises we can do for that. And the only reason I got a prescription for the computer, aside from the fact that these are green and gold, and I really wanted some green and gold, I broke my green ones, is one of my eyes is 20/20 and one is like a little off. So it can cause a headache if you're wearing glasses that are not, or even not wearing glasses because one eye is working hard.
Yeah, totally.
So anyway,
a little off.
That's a lot about my eye.
That was a lot about your eyes, but it was wonderful. I think we all learned some things here today, and that's great. So
that's
you want to talk about the schedule?
Here. I am so excited about this schedule.
Let's talk about it, Don. What are your thoughts on the Packers schedule for the 2024 season? What are your thoughts on it?
Okay, let me pull it back up because I just had it up and I accidentally threw it away. First of all, I was really interested that, hey, we don't have a division opponent. I'm sorry. Yeah. A North, the NFC opponent, in our first, home game. Week 2 is the Colts. I don't know what to think about the Colts. They're kind of wishy-washy over the years.
I mean, a quarterback who didn't play last year, who's probably good, and so we'll see how he does. But his second week, he won't be like seasoned at all yet. I mean, that might be a really easy game, which is nice.
I'm hoping.
For home opener to come and have like a really solid game, especially after the long trip to and from Brazil the week before that.
Right. So I felt like we all know week one is Brazil,
Mhm.
but I felt like week two was a little bit of a blessing. But we
Yes.
don't know, of course. We don't know until we know.
Right.
But I mean, not any shade on you Colts fans, but So, but I was surprised. I was hoping it would be a division opponent, just for
I'm
fun.
I'm glad it's not. I actually would rather not have the division opponents, like, especially not in the first 3 weeks. I mean, we have it in the fourth week, but
Yeah,
not in the first 3 weeks at least, because you need
ease
those games
into it.
matter. Yeah, those games matter so
Yes,
much. You want to see
true.
the teams like more in like good form to do
Yes.
well in those. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad the Vikings are the first one in the fourth week. I would even be happy if it was like the fifth week, but fourth's fine.
True. That's a true point. I just am very confident that it's not going to be a problem with, I mean, we don't know what the lines are going to look like, but with the other two, I'm kind of feeling confident, but maybe I'm just too overly confident. Okay. So what do you think of week three? So I said week two.
Mhm.
What do you think about week three, the Titans?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the Titan Stadium is considered like a hard place to play. We play there so rarely, like once every 8 years,
Mm,
Typically, I don't know what to make of that team right now. I don't think that's gonna be a
hmm
hard game for us to win, honestly. As long as we don't beat ourselves, should be winnable. I do like, as we're kind of looking at the first like the third of the games, right? The first six of them.
hmm
It's alternating home and away, which I really like. So it's like not just
Yes.
a weird stretch. In fact, looking through the whole schedule, there isn't like a weird stretch of like a whole bunch of home or a whole bunch of away. And I actually like that a lot. I'm glad that it alternates, or
For
almost
once, we don't have
for
like these
once.
killer back to back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have 9 days. So with between Brazil and home. So
Mhm.
that's nice. It's an extra couple of days too, because Brazil is a Friday night and then we play the
Right.
following Sunday. So
And did you notice that it's like week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5? No, wait, sorry, 2, 3, 4, but then also 6 are all noon games. That's a lot of noon games in the early part of the year. Did you see that?
it is, which I'm not a big fan. I mean, I know it's just because that's 10 a.m. for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like just not even. I mean, sometimes I even have to set my alarm depending on what's going on in my life. So, yeah, and I like the whole overall back and forth of home away, home away, home away.
Mhm.
It's not like away, 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 away. Oh, home once in a while. Like it's yeah. Now, didn't the Titans lose? Didn't the Titans fire their coach, who I liked? I liked their
Yep.
coach.
Yep.
Yeah, I liked him.
Me
I
too.
didn't think.
I don't
Yeah,
really know what went down. I feel like there's a lot of things we don't know. I mean, probably
yeah.
Titans fans have a better handle on that, obviously, but it just seems like one of those you'd have to really know some stuff to understand what happened with that team in the offseason. It seems strange to me.
Right, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I did like that coach though.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we have week 4. I'll take week 4. That's
Mhm.
back at Lambeau. So first we have the Colts and then we have the Vikings on week 4 at Lambeau. That's a noon game like you mentioned, the end of September.
Mhm.
Not much to say except why are you wearing a purple shirt tonight, Matt?
Oh, I put that on this morning thinking like, is this going to come back and be commented on during the podcast? It's just the shirt I wore today. There's no meaning behind it.
I'm not a fan of purple in general, but it looks good on you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, the Vikings. Blah. Next.
Yeah, not worried about the Vikings this year. Much more worried about the other two teams, honestly. And even then, not
Mm-hmm.
okay. So let's talk about that for a second, okay? So the Vikings, their new quarterback. Like I think, like all of the new quarterbacks is going to need at least half a season to kind of like get into the groove. So
Mm-hmm.
will he be good? Will Caleb Williams be good? Caleb Williams will probably be good. I think it's safe to say that he will be good. I think that this year it's going to take the Bears a minute to get going. I think their offense has a lot of potential. But what I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to say is I think we easily beat both the Vikings and the Bears in the first half of the season. When we come back around to the Vikings later, when even is that? Oh, the Vikings and the Bears are also the last two games. That might be
Mm-hmm.
more of a contest by then. So as far as like the Vikings in week 4, I think that'll be an easy win, honestly. But if we look to week 5, traveling to the West Coast to take care of the Rams. Do we ever lose to the Rams with the current coaches, LaFleur versus Sean McVay? Like, have we lost to them at all?
I think we've played them at least twice. I don't think we lost, and I'm hoping to go to that game out here.
Ooh, that'd be
Yeah,
good. That'd be good.
yeah. You and Katie should come to LA this year
Oh,
because
that'd
I'm
be
not
amazing.
going to Green Bay this year. Yeah, if I'm not because I don't want to, but just for my health reasons and
Sure.
stuff, I
Yeah,
won't
no.
be able to. But I think I can handle a trip to LA. I
That could
might
be a
even
good
stay
game.
overnight. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'll go see if Jamie can go. I'm pretty sure Jamie could go, but that's an afternoon game,
Mhm.
which is also helpful
Yeah.
for me. So at least that's like 1:25 p.m. for me on
Mhm.
my on LA time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rams, I don't think we lost. I feel good about it. I feel
Yeah.
good about that game too. I feel really good about that game. And then back home, my turn on week 6. That's the Cardinals. Don't know what to think. They still have Kyler Murray as their quarterback,
Yeah.
so
He
not too
might have
worried.
a better year this year. He might,
He
but
might. He could. He could.
they don't feel
But
like a
it's
threat, do
hard.
they? It feels like a win, right?
Yeah, it does. It
Yeah.
does to me. So then there's 2 home games in a row. Week 7. What do you think? The Texans. That's the one you
If
want to see, isn't it?
if I can go to a game this year, there's a lot up in the air about that for a lot of reasons. I don't know if I'll be able to go see a game this year, but if I can at Lambeau, that is the one. It's perfect. Don, it's perfect. 2 young teams, 2 young quarterbacks,
Mhm.
2 teams that had a lot of especially excitement at the end of last season. It's a game in
Mhm.
Lambeau. It's a game in
Yep.
Lambeau before it's cold out, and kind of like,
Right.
the
Right.
one I went to, the Cowboys game 2 seasons ago. Man, it was awesome, but I was bundled up. I had the extra padding in my boots. Thanks, Kate, for
Mm.
that idea. Once again, I was tail Kate gave me the idea to like put stuff in your
She
boots.
has great tips for if you're
Oh,
traveling to Lambeau. Tell
yeah,
Kate's place to go. Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, but it was cold, and as much as I want to be like, the
Mm.
cold, it's what defines Lambeau. Like, it still sucked. you know,
No.
I didn't like
Yeah.
being that cold and standing outside in the cold for that long. Like, if I'm being for real about it.
Right.
So yeah, like a game in October 20th.
Hmm.
That's awesome. I love that. And if I were to go, last time I was like hanging around my cousin a lot, who was on the show, cousin Brad.
Hmm.
This time I would maybe like just kind of like do the loner thing, so I have more like freedom with my own schedule. Because then I would just like hang out in Green Bay and like see people and
Wander. Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, I was say and party. That's disingenuous. I'm not a person who parties, but
Yeah.
just see people and hang out, like that'd be a lot of fun because it's an early game. So,
Yeah.
if I can go to a game at Lambeau, that is one I definitely want to go to for sure. So
Nice. Nice.
it's very exciting.
Nice.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right. So now I have week 8, and that is the Jaguars. And now it's not at home. So it flipped.
Mm-hmm.
And that is in Jacksonville. So it might be pretty hot there.
Mm-hmm.
It might be pretty
Even late
hot
October, it could be. Yeah.
in Florida. Yeah, because it's
Mhm.
Florida.
That game
So,
could be a sneaky loss one. I think it could be.
mhm,
Could be.
mhm. It's
Hmm.
possible. It's possible. I do like their logo. I do.
It's a good one. Their
It is.
whole aesthetic is kind of fun. I like
It
the
is. I like.
colors.
Mhm.
Their attitude is they're a little bit silly, a little bit crazy, a little bit Florida man. Kind of like them
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, I like
I like
it.
Trevor Lawrence. He's very charismatic. He's a lot of fun to watch. So could be a sneaky good game. Could be a loss.
Right.
Next week then against the Lions
I'm going to
for the
say it's
first
not a
time.
loss. I just can't. But go ahead.
Can't get there with that. So
Nah. Mm-mm.
so having the Lions, and this one's going to be a home game, early November. I feel like it's hard to predict what's going to happen with this one because they beat us at home and we beat them at home last year, right? So that went
Right.
down. So
Hmm.
who even knows? But we know they'll be good. We know they're going to be a very good team. We know that it'll be a tough fight. It'll probably be a fun game to watch. Hopefully it goes down like the second game we played them last year, where it was a surprise slaughter. That was one of my favorite games I've ever watched. Thanksgiving, making turkey, and just being blown away by what's happening on my little phone.
Yes.
Screen,
That was a fun game. That
Oh my
was a fun
goodness.
game. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was when I guess I don't have to feel sorry for the Lions anymore last year. In
Yeah.
starting the year before too. I knew last year they were going to step up. So
Mm-hmm.
yep,
And
and
that
that's at
bye week.
home. That's at home. So we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
So Okay, so then I get bye week. Yay! What I love about this bye week is it's smack dab in the middle of the schedule. For
Exactly.
once, it's not like
Exactly.
the last week. Like
I
it's
love
like,
it.
why have one now? Like,
Yeah,
why
not
even
the
do
last
it?
possible, not the first possible, actually in a place that kind of makes sense. So yeah,
it
I'm very excited about that.
it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I don't know why they can't all just have the same bye week, but whatever. It's so complicated, a whole complicated
1
thing.
week for Nody plays.
So yeah, so yay for bye week.
Mhm.
Week 10.
Week 10. So that's week 10, right? Then week
Mm-hmm.
11, we've got the Bears
Mm-hmm.
away, Soldier Field. And by that point, maybe Caleb Williams is, has hit his stride. Maybe, his surprisingly deep, receiving core will build the chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
it's still the Bears, and we're still gonna beat them, and it's gonna be fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be fine.
And we're gonna
Even
beat them
even
at their
having it
home.
there, because I do
Yeah.
love that. Like, we get to have the last game, just to skip way ahead here, Don. Last game of the season, cold weather, Bears Packers. That is about as, for me, traditional football as you can get. So really happy that they made it happen like that. I think if it was against the Bears really early in the season, it would be just like kind of a silly one-sided fight, because they just won't be up to it yet. But mid-season like that might be a good game. That
Yeah,
might be a lot of
it
fun.
might be. We should have gelled by then, and they
Oh yeah,
might they
and
might
they
gel
might have.
by
Yeah.
then. So it should be good. It should be good. It's always good when it's well, it's not always good, but yeah, it's going to be fun to
It's
beat
been
them again.
one-sided.
I'm excited about it.
Okay, so this
And
next one, go for it.
next,
Very
at
intriguing.
home,
Yeah,
week 12 at home. And
finally.
is this Thanksgiving or no?
November 20th. It's a Sunday.
Oh no! So it's it's the Sunday before Thanksgiving. So we
Yes.
play Sunday and then Thursday, like 4 days later. Okay, so week
They're both
12
at
is the
home, which is
40.
nice.
Sorry.
So they're both at home, which is nice. It's a short week, but at
Yes,
least they're.
yes, short week, but both at home, right? So, which also is a nice balanced thing to do. NFL for once. For once, we have a decent schedule. It's just hard
Yeah.
to believe this schedule. So, week 12, San Francisco 49ers at Lambeau Field, November 24th, nice and chilly. Afternoon game, 3:25 p.m. Lambeau time. I like it.
I
We'll
love
be
everything about
ready.
this one.
We'll
Yeah,
be ready.
we'll be
Mm-hmm.
ready. It's
Mm-hmm.
finally them coming to us, which seems like it.
Right. We're
I feel like
all
we play them like 15 times a year, and it's
always
always at their
there.
house, and it's so frustrating, and I'm so sick of them. So for them to come to us when it's probably gonna be cold,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I love that. I love that very much. I'm gonna really be excited for that game, and that'd be a fun one to be at. It'll probably be cold though, but that would be probably a great game. So I'm very excited about that one.
Yeah, I am too. And do you think that the cold matters for other teams? Do you think that there's that Lambo edge? I mean, I don't seem to think. Well,
Yeah, I
maybe
don't think that. I don't think there is.
certain like Goff. Who is it that can't throw in the cold? Stafford? No. Who is it that can't
Oh,
throw in the
good
cold?
question.
Goff. Goff.
Cousins?
Jared Goff. They
Was
were
it
always saying,
was it
yeah.
Cousins also though? I think maybe
Who?
the Cousins is the guy who can't do prime time. That's what that was with him.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think it does as much as like people want seem to think it does. Unfortunately,
mm-hmm,
but
mm-hmm.
they're from like although kind of think of it, the last time that we played them in Lambeau was when they beat us in the playoffs with that terrible game where we couldn't score any points and it was just so frustrating to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? Who knows?
All right. So now you have the next week. What's the
Oh yeah,
next week?
week 13. I actually like this one. It's at first I was like Thanksgiving game. That sucks. I'm trying to be with family, but no, that's the night game. It's at 7:20 Central Time,
Oh,
8:20 here in Cincinnati. So
okay.
that's perfect. That's like the dishes are done. We're probably
Yep.
already eating our pie.
You're eating your pie. Yep.
Probably even done with that. And then the
Mm-hmm.
Packers are on, and there's been football on all day. So
Mm-hmm.
there would have already been a Lions game and a Cowboys game. I'm assuming I haven't looked at their schedule. I'm assuming
I
that's
haven't
what it
either.
always
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So to get the night game after all the stuff is done and we're all sick of each other, we can sit down as a family and enjoy a nice game. Because I think didn't they play the Dolphins on like Christmas a year or two ago, 2 seasons ago? Do you remember
Yeah. I
that?
think I
It was
think
on a holiday.
Lorenzo in the chat is saying something about that. Christmas Day, Miami. Well, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm going to look up all the Thanksgiving games while we're chatting,
There you go.
though.
Well, if you want to do that, I can keep talking about week 14 if you want me to
Keep
keep
talking.
All right, so week 14, we have away at the Lions for a Thursday night game. So we have 2 Thursdays in a row. That's weird.
Well, that's good, though. Then we get another whole week off.
A whole week. That's right.
Although
And
there's a short week, so that's the least they can do.
that's true. It kind of works out that way. So yeah, so a whole week to get ready for the Lions at their house, and it's another night game. And in fact, this gets us into the beginning of a stretch of 4 night games in a row.
This is so interesting. Yes, prime time.
If we get our primetime games, it's the first week because it's like a Friday night game, which is weird anyhow. And then our next primetime game isn't until, I'm just checking my facts here. Yeah, it's until week 13. That's bananas. But we got 4 in a row. Huh.
Correct. And maybe even 5, depending on what happens with the last game. I'm guessing it's going to be 5 in a row because the last game is the Bears at Lambeau, and that's a flex, right?
It's a TBD, but the Vikings are happening before that, and that is set for a noon kickoff. So there is.
I missed that. Gotcha.
Yeah, and that'll depend, I think, on how good the Bears are. So that'd be an advantage of if the Bears are actually good, maybe we get a night game out of that.
Again, we're assuming we're going to be very good. The Packers.
I mean, that's
just without saying.
I know I'm a homer, obviously, but still,
right?
Yeah, quick question for you, Dawn. I prefer night games for a lot of reasons. One of which is that it's like I'll be able to actually watch it on my TV instead of on my small phone screen, or I would never ever use websites of questionable legality. Of course, never have I ever done. Of course. So being able to watch on my TV, I really enjoy that. So I like the night games for that. So that's why I hope we have another night game. But I feel like there are people who would rather have it at noon, but those are probably people who have easy access to actually watch the games. Because a noon game, it's a lot less likely I get to watch it on my TV here in Cincinnati. So
100%. And that's my sister. She's like, I don't like these afternoon games. I don't like the evening games. It's like, I love them. I love them. I can actually see them.
Yeah. Later there, the better chance.
I mean, just to even see them at all. Like some of the games I can't even see unless, But yeah, like what you said.
Unless, you would never. Neither of us would. So, okay. So that was... Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So Thanksgiving, you were right. It's the Bears at Detroit first on Thanksgiving. And then it's the Giants at the Cowboys.
Why? That game's going to suck.
Well, who knows? It's important to them, Maddie.
Sure, it's important to them. And actually, you know what? If it's going to be like a stinker game on that day, having it then when people are eating.
While you're eating, yeah.
I don't care if I miss some of it. That's fine. So, okay, that's fine.
Yep. And then Dolphins at Lambeau. So it's going to be at Detroit, at the Cowboys, at wherever that place is where they have Cowboys, and then Green Bay, Lambeau. So that'll be a fun
I think
day.
I lost you there for a second. Which weeks are you in right now?
It was like, I was just saying their Thanksgiving Day is going to be in Detroit and then Dallas. I forgot where the Cowboys lived.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And then
you're still on Thanksgiving. Okay.
I'm still on Thanksgiving. I'm just so excited we're even talking about the schedule, Maddie.
Seriously.
The season's almost here.
This brings almost only 3 months. So this brings us to week 15. Seahawks. What do you got for this, Don? What are you thinking?
The Seahawks evening game at Seahawks, one of the loudest stadiums on the planet.
Yeah.
But not worried. It'll probably be raining.
That's true.
I don't mind a little rain. I love snow for a football game. I love the evening football games too. But I like snow if it's during the day where you can actually see. You can see it at night, I guess, too. But I'm not thinking the Seahawks are going to be a super threat. They've got the same quarterback, who replaced what's his name. And then they don't have their head coach is now a consultant. So I think there's some
for the head coach, actually. Who do they have for that?
I forgot. Let me look. But I should know this because I remember caring a little about it and looking when it happened, but my memory. But yeah, so I'm not feeling super threatened about that game.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think we can handle them.
And we've probably talked about this on the show here. I used to hate them so much.
I
I used to hate them
know.
so much, and I don't now.
Yeah,
I've let go of that. I
that's
realized
good.
that I hated Russell Wilson. I still do, and I realized
Yeah,
that like,
it's
and
not
this
my
isn't even the
favorite.
case more. I used to really dislike Pete Carroll. I actually kind of like him now.
I
Um,
like Pete. I never
so
liked his gum, but I like him.
yes.
Hmm.
So yeah, their new head coach. Oh, Mike McDonald. Oh yeah.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's
Thank
good.
you. Is that Iowa Joe answering? Okay. Yes.
Oh,
My phone is. There's too many ads on my phone to get anywhere. Okay.
ah, yeah. So, yeah, Seahawks. Who knows? I don't think they'd be amazing. Could be a win.
Then we have the Saints at Lambeau on a
We called
Monday
that one
Night
last time.
Football. What I know, we had them last year. That was so
Right.
much fun. I was just talking to someone about that game. That was. I don't think it's going to be even slightly close this year.
No. No, no, no. That was
Didn't
definitely the
Derek?
Packers not yet gelled by any stretch, and just kind of like
No,
pulling one out at the end somehow
it was
miraculously. And
shaky.
like
Yeah,
and that was also the last year. It was the Saints beating themselves by missing that field goal at the end.
it
So
was crazy.
yeah,
It
it
was so
was
awesome. But also, didn't Derek Carr get hurt at that game?
yeah. And I think James Winston had to come in, right?
And I think they were, to be fair, also gelling because that was Derek Carr's first year there.
True. True.
I mean, first season at the Saints with that
Yeah.
team and with that
Yeah.
coach. So, all right. And then that takes us, so that's Monday Night Football, Saints at
Mhm.
Packers. Ha,
Mhm.
ha, 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 ha. That gives me so much joy to think about that. That's just like a highlight memory for me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So 17, week
Mm-hmm.
17 away at the Vikings. I still think that the Vikings are not a serious threat this year. I mean, they got Justin Jefferson. I know that. I get that. He's amazing. He's maybe one of the best players in the NFL, but
Mm-hmm.
still rookie quarterback. I think that'll be
Mm-hmm.
a win. I hate playing there because that stupid horn, like goes off
Uh,
constantly. Like it's just the
uh,
worst. But
yeah,
I think it'll be a win. How you feeling about that?
I do. I do
Yeah.
too. And it'll be fun to beat them there at their
Mm-hmm.
home. That's always extra fun.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I feel good about our O line. And yeah, I'm feeling so good about um, the draft and everything, and then
Mhm.
last year and how it's all coming together, and our new defense coach, what's the coordinator? No, what's our DC? What's our coach called? What's Hatley's
Coordinator. Yeah, no,
title?
defensive coordinator. Yeah.
DC. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I called him the defensive coach, and that just didn't sound right at all. So yeah, I'm excited about him, and I I have a lot of optimism, but at the same time, I mean, I feel like we can beat anybody because of the way we were playing last year
Hmm.
and our
Yeah.
quarterback and all of it.
Sure.
But at the same time, anything can happen because it
Hmm.
does take a while to change. Because it's not like we have the exact same team. Even if we had the exact same team, it's no one else has the exact same team, right? So
Hmm.
we don't really ever know what to expect. That's what's cool about
That is
it.
true. That is true.
So I'm trying to temper my optimism. The Mojo team helped me with that this summer, so
Yeah.
we'll talk about that. But yeah, so I'm just feeling like we can beat everybody.
We beat the Chiefs last year. Okay.
Yeah,
So I rest my case.
and
We did.
we technically beat the 49ers. We just kind of made a boo-boo at
Yeah.
the end.
Beat the 49ers and ourselves is what happened
And
there.
ourselves. That yeah, we beat two teams that game. It's great.
That's right. Yeah. Double victory. Sure. Let's go with that. Yeah. So then we talked about the Bears at that last game of the season already. They'll probably be good by then. It could be a really good game. Could be a loss. I don't know. It could be the Bears' first win against us in years. Literally.
At Lambeau,
Could be.
yeah,
I would
see.
hate that. If it was a Lambeau, I mean, it will be at Lambeau. If they would beat us at Lambeau, I would hate that. But
I know.
at least they could be a team we could actually respect
True.
for
True.
change. Which is kind of fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, I've seen a lot of people saying like they think it's gonna be about 12-5 for the record. Kind of talking through it here, Don. I think we could get 13-4. Honestly, I think
Mm-hmm.
if we split games with the Bears, which is weird to say, if we split games with the Lions, maybe lose like something weird like the Jaguars, and let's say we lose to, I don't know, maybe we're gonna go 14-3.
I know. When you look at it, it's like that's what I'm saying. We could win every single game. We could have
maybe
a
we
win.
lose to the Texans and the Jaguars back to back, middle season slump maybe.
Need a bye,
Yeah.
injuries. Yep. That makes sense.
It's real
Yep.
cocky to say 13-4 because that's a
I
freaking
know.
awesome season, but I'm gonna say it. I'm saying it right now.
But
Mark
we've
it
had
down.
so many of
That
those.
is my way too
Mhm.
early prediction.
Okay.
13-4.
I'll take it. Let's make it a show prediction.
Yeah. That
Let's
is
make it a
optimistic. I feel silly saying it.
It
I'm gonna
is.
look silly by the end of the year. I almost said semester, by the end of the year. But I'm going with it. What do you think, Don? What do you think we're gonna get?
Well, other people, just by the way, on Twitter are saying 13, so don't worry about it.
Okay. I was
Don't worry about
12
feeling
mostly. Okay.
silly, because nobody cares. I mean, if they do care, then they're just a troll. We don't care about them.
No one's pulling a receipt of me saying this. That's not going to happen. But Joe, on the other hand, is saying 17-0. I'm going to make sure to be in his mentions as soon as we lose one game.
We're going to screenshot that. I'm with
Okay,
Joe.
yeah.
I'm with Joe. Somewhere between 13 and 17. I'm going to be optimistic, but at the same time, I'm not going to be upset because it's a new young team.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be fun no matter what.
That's right. Yeah, if we can keep that energy from last season going, that's sort of we don't want to have high expectations and we just want to have fun, have good vibes. That's going to help. It's going to be hard to do that all the time because I do think we have like just an amazing team, and Jordan Love has shown that he's got the goods. So I don't know. Just be excited for the wins. Be excited for the wins. That's what we got to do.
And didn't you just love the schedule release video that everyone did, all the teams? But talk about a fun team. Like, don't you just love our team? That you can see their personalities. J-Lo, Jair.
Jair. Yeah, Jair was on there.
Jair and Preston. Thank you.
And Karen.
Oh, that one with the hand, like. That almost made me throw up. Like,
Karen is
like
a national treasure. I
don't like that. I love Larry, but the fingers really gets me queasy. Gets me really
his sense of humor about his messed up pinky is exceptional.
I know, and then they did a short with it too, and I was like, "Oh God, do it again."
9.5 minutes. Yeah, let's talk about that for a second, okay? So the Packers schedule release video for so long was one of the less interesting, less fun ones in the league for years. What was last year's? I remember being like a step in the right direction. Do you remember what it was last year?
I can't remember.
All I remember is it was like okay,
but it was pretty good. It wasn't horrible. They featured each team like, was it not as a cheat as something? Each team was depicted as something. I don't remember though what it was.
Find it or something.
It had a theme. Good. Yeah, it was
this
good.
One. I saw people talking about it being one of the top 10, 6, even 4 one place. It was such a step in the right direction, such a breath of fresh air. And I was watching it with a friend today who is a Browns fan, bless his soul, and this guy who I work with. And I was like, I want you to watch this as a non-Packers fan, because so much of it was like, you have to know some Packers stuff, like know who the beat reporters are, know who Tom Grassi is, for example, although a lot of people know who Tom Grassi is, of course. You have to know some stuff to get all the jokes, and he was able to follow pretty much all of it. I'd be like, that's a beat reporter, I'd be like that a little bit, but yeah. How about Wes and Mike, like just being amazingly good sports, coming in dressed like clowns, like
so cute. Oh my gosh. That was too cute. And it's not just the video, but I think somebody else has taken over the social media accounts, because like today, I saw a post, and I don't know if it was on Twitter, but I saw it on Facebook, and it was the schedule. It was probably yesterday, but anyway, whoever posted it was, okay, you could stop blowing up our notifications now, with the schedule. And so, because people were like, what's the schedule? They weren't just happy with the video for a minute. But I like that there's somebody there who gets social media and gets humor.
Yes.
And I think it probably is someone new, or maybe it's just somebody who they said, hey, okay, go at it. Like, just do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And, no, because the Packers can be so terribly buttoned down, corporate-ish.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it's a new person or not, but I did comment and I said, I love you, whoever you are. Thank you.
Well, the fact that like one of the teasers for the actual schedule release video was that Bears fan, Barstool Big Cat, is that what his name is? Actually swearing. I was like, they're putting swears out there from the Packers social media. Like, okay, new day. So of course I do have to take a second to thank David Bakhtiari and Tom Grassi for speaking up and maybe helping to be catalysts for the change that we see now. And so Joe's reminding us that last year's was like an old school music info commercial. Oh yeah, okay, I remember that.
Music?
Yeah, like it was.
Oh, was each team a different old?
It must have been, right?
Song.
I remember there being like a mixtape, like it's like love song compilation CD kind of things. You see like on late night. It was like one of those kinds of things.
Okay. Don't remember. But that doesn't surprise me. I don't remember what I did 5 minutes ago. So.
There's that. I'll have to go back and find it again. But yeah, no, that Joe, that rings a bell, man. Thanks for throwing that in there. So I was just completely couldn't think of it. So that's helpful. Yeah,
this weekend I'm going to look at the other teams. I'm sure I saw the Chargers, of course, because I always watch what the Chargers do.
Oh man, Dawn.
I know.
Chargers won.
I know.
It was crazy good. My screen just went blank.
It was so good. And the Chargers social media is fantastic. So
I literally had to watch or like read through 3 different tweet threads of all of the jokes, like kind of like the more subtle jokes, kind of like, explained or just like, hey, did you catch this thing? Because I watched it 3 times last night and I was like, okay, I think I caught everything. Okay. I didn't catch half of it, Dawn. It's just so dense.
A lot of details. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of details, a lot of really great jokes. So
I have to rewatch it a few million times, right? Yeah.
Million times.
To get every time.
They're in a class of their own. They're their own tier for this stuff. But what do you see some other ones? What were some good ones you saw?
No, I only saw those 2 and then I'm saving them. I'm saving them for the weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was really busy this week. So and yesterday I had only enough. I was exhausted. I was so exhausted. I slept 12 hours last night.
Whoa.
I was so tired. Like, I don't get that tired. I have a lot of energy, especially at night. I sort of get like a next level, like a, what do you call that?
Second wind?
Thank you. Which I'm obviously not having tonight. I'm still tired. But I wasn't sleeping well for a while. And then I got 3 really long nights of sleep this week, finally. So I think I'm just catching up on my sleep. So, but I was like, I'm not going to appreciate anything. So I don't want to half watch anything because they're works of art. They put a lot of work. Each team puts a lot of work and time into it. And I want to really appreciate them like a nice fine wine.
I found an article that had links to all of them that I posted on the Twitter, obviously. So,
cool.
If you find that, you could.
That'll be perfect for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Straight through them. I think all the teams put a lot of work into them, except for the Vikings. So spoiler alert for you here, Don. It's not good. And the guy who I mentioned a week or 2 ago, my friend who's a Vikings fan, the Brohioan, he was like, I am disappointed in the Vikings. It is bad. It is. I mean, it's not like it's like if you have a saltine with nothing on it, it's kind of it's fine. You know what I mean? If you're to put something like bad tasting on it, then it's bad. So this isn't like a saltine with something bad on it. It's just a saltine. It's just a nothing. It's just like this was your video. Okay. It's not in poor taste. It's just boring. It's just what's even doing here. So it's like the most nothing schedule release video I've seen. Well, this year for sure, but even in recent memory, and that's even with some of the Packers boring ones from years back.
Right.
So, yeah, it's not good. It's not good. But I will say, I don't want this to sound like just like NFC North hatred, because dude, the Bears one was really good. The Bears one was good, and I even like the Detroit one. They used the guys from the Detroiters. whose name suddenly escaped me, but the one guy who did I Think You Should Leave, Tim Robinson, and the other guy from Detroiters, I can never think of his name.
I
But
don't know
it's
who
just
the
them like
Detroiters.
riffing in the parking lot. It's actually really
Okay.
so
Okay.
yeah. So
Looking
the other one is
forward to it.
North, social media, they did great on theirs.
Yeah, I love how everyone's really stepping, except for I guess the Vikings, but how everyone is stepping up. Well, from what you said, he's stepping up their social media game in general all year.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
really getting fun, and not just. I mean, the NFL for sure, but like the national park system. I mean, a lot of different entities that are just super fun to follow now. Yeah, so that was so exciting and fun yesterday. Well, just getting the schedule was great. That was just a bonus. I kind of forgot about the unveiling, that there would be a video and stuff, because I was just gone and busy. I didn't get home, and I think I got home and they had just put it out. So I was like, "Oh, video!" And I was like, "What?
Yeah,
this is so great! I loved it. I watched it like 3 times. Me too.
And we didn't even mention, shout out to, Aaron Nagler and Tom Grassi, both ending up in the video as well. How much fun was that,
Totally.
Loved it.
Totally. And what's his name? Kicking the field goal.
Domofsky.
I can't pronounce his name. Yes. Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Good video.
I love Preston. Preston's got a great sense of humor. He's very good at that kind of thing.
Agreed.
And J-Lo, we're getting to know him better. Jordan Love. He's fun. He knows what's that. He knows what he's doing. Yeah,
I like him a lot. Here he is on our screen down in the bottom corner there. So
that's our J-Lo.
It's a guy.
Okay, so speaking of J-Lo, I'm going to give you 2 superlatives. Most sad. Number 1, me, sad.
Oh no.
But there's a silver lining. Okay, so the Mojo, I've been talking about the San Diego Mojo professional women's volleyball team. They were like the comeback kids. They were the worst team in the league for the first half of the season. Does that sound familiar? Like last year? Okay. And then they climbed their way up. And they became like invincible. Like, if for volleyball, it's best of 5 games to win a match. So they became known for, if it goes to 5, the Mojo are going to win. Well, so they made it to the finals. So last night was the semifinals. It was 4 different teams playing each other.
Gotcha.
And the first match, the number 1 seed got knocked out.
Ooh.
And they were the number 1 seed by a long shot. This team got knocked out, and it was a shocker. And then the Mojo played the Omaha Supernovas after, and I'm like, if the Mojo can win, and they weren't really expected to, but if they could win, they will make it to the finals, the final two teams for Sunday. But it was kind of like, everything's new. It's a new league, so all the teams are new, so you just don't know what to expect. But especially with this season, but they were right on the right trajectory, and they won the first 2 games handily. Okay. And I was like, they're going to do it. They're going to go to the finals. And then the Supernovas won the 3rd game, which, that wasn't a big surprise that they were going to really claw and fight. Then the 4th game, they demolished the Mojo.
Really?
I mean, they embarrassed. I mean, it was the worst. It was the worst wipeouts game all year. It was embarrassing. So then it was 2-2, so they had to go to 5, the tiebreaker. And it was neck and neck, because with the tiebreaker, they don't go to 25 points; they only go to 15.
Oh.
So it goes pretty fast. And it was like really close. And then the Supernovas made it through and knocked the Mojo out. But boy, did the Mojo fight, and was I proud of them. And our J-Lo was there at the match.
Right.
supporting his girlfriend Ronica and the whole team, no doubt. But
Cool.
it really reminded me a lot of the Packers season last year.
Hmm.
It, in so many ways, and I'm like, I bet you she paid a lot of attention to that. The lessons, the psychology behind all of that being behind, coming
Mhm.
up, making people notice you.
Mhm.
It was all of the same. It was like, this is crazy how
That
similar it is
is
to last year's Packer season. Yeah.
well, that's interesting. Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so most sad, I guess, because they're out, but not super. So like I was saying about our team being
Mhm.
new last year, and I'm going to kind of try to keep that same level because I really enjoyed last season, right? So I'm
Yeah.
going to try to keep as a fan, my mental state kind of similar to last year, because even when it wasn't like, oh, we should have won that, because the expectations weren't quite, my expectations were super high, but I think when Rodgers was the quarterback, I just expected more, in the sense of his number of years as the quarterback and all of those things that go with that.
Mhm.
So, so I'm just going to enjoy the ride. I really enjoyed the mojos. And then my second superlative on that, what is my second? Let me just double check. I forgot. My second superlative goes to, what did I call it? Oh, this is I guess I didn't write it down. I'm so sorry. My second superlative goes to our QB for best boyfriend.
All right. Okay.
So last week when they made the finals, I think I mentioned it on this show. He did an Instagram post
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
with a clip of Veronica winning the match, because she did a side out, and her side outs are incredible. Like, so fast the way she does it, and at an angle that no one can hit that ball back.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just crazy. And he had a little clip of it, and he had a little goat on it.
Love that. Yeah.
I know.
Mhm.
So yeah, so this will be it on my volleyball. We'll get back to football a little bit more.
Mhm.
I did watch some NBA this week. I'm following the Knicks right now, because I've got some folks that follow me on my true crime show, so that are really into
Oh,
the
the Knicks
Knicks,
fans.
and that's
Gotcha.
been fun. And the Knicks are
Mhm.
playing the Pacers, who beat the Bucks out, so I want them to beat the Pacers out. So a little bit of basketball left, but not that important to me as much as the volleyball was
Mhm.
this year. So yeah, so those are my superlatives.
I love that you've been such a big fan of the new volleyball. Like it's
Oh,
like, I think you're getting into it before it's going to be cool, and you'll be able to say,
mhm,
"Yeah, I was a fan of the Mojo from their first season."
that's right. I have a tendency to do that. I didn't expect it. I mean, I always liked volleyball, you
Sure.
know, but I just didn't expect it. But I just felt like I had to with the team. We have our team here, to
Mhm.
support our San Diego team. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Very
yeah,
cool.
and it's just really cool that J Lo's girlfriend is on it too. I mean, that's
I
just
know,
like a
right?
bonus. It's so
That is
cute.
awesome.
Hmm.
Right on. I got three superlatives here. All right.
Okay.
So here we go. First one. Now, the first two actually are going to be kind of similarly themed because all the content leading up to the draft was like getting ready for the draft, and all the content after the draft. And obviously, I'm exaggerating, but all the content after the draft has been, let's talk about the new players. Here we go.
Hmm.
Deep dive upon
Hmm.
deep dive upon deep dive, right? So,
Right.
and I talked last week about like the sameness that's kind of like, of listening to a lot of this content, reading a lot of this content. So,
Hmm.
I have two really interesting best post draft player info things, right? So the first one is podcast. So best post draft player info podcast version is
Okay.
Jason Perone and Mark Eccles on the Pack a Day podcast. I think Thursday, right? Thursday Pack a Day podcast. Because what they've been doing is getting like notes on these players from a scout friend that Mark Eccles has, because he has like all those connections, back from when he was
Right.
a beat writer for the Eagles. So he has like
Hmm.
all these really interesting connections. So he had a friend of his who's a scout write up some notes. So they're kind of going over those, talking about what the scout said, kind of comparing that to what they've heard about the players, what they've seen so far. So last week by the time this is like airing, it'll be like 2 weeks ago, I realized. But like, so like the first one they did, I think, was the players in the offense, and then last week the players in the defense. So one episode for each side of the ball. And it was just really fun to listen to them. I mean, like, I enjoy them both so much already. And like, Jason's just the best dude. I've had a chance to hang out with him a couple times now. And yeah, those are really fun ones. Those are worth kind of seeking out and checking out. And as we've said so many times, like, we have months until the season starts. So this is like, a pair of podcasts you could listen to in August and still like find really enjoyable. So those are really fun ones. I like those a lot.
Okay, I will check that out. Thank you.
Highly recommended. So it's almost like, at this point you have to kind of like dig into the pile of all the content about post.
Oh, for sure.
So like those are two worth picking out of the pile there. So that was podcast version. Now written version of the same thing goes to Bill Huber. He's been doing a series where he gets like basically like an interview with like those players' former coaches.
Oh, yes.
So he's writing with like quotes and information from those coaches from the work that our new Packers players, from the work they did in college. And so it's like much more of, hearing from people who actually knew these kids and aren't just like, talking about stats, it's not just like dry like that. It's like real human interest. And the articles that Bill's been writing, he has, I want to say 3 or 4 of them out. I can't remember how many are out so far. It's a good number. They're juicy. And they're long and they're like just so good, So, I mean, we've talked about Bill Huber a lot on this show over the years. I guess, isn't that crazy to say over the years?
I know, right?
Right? Seriously.
We'll be going into our 4th year.
Yeah. How about that? So, yeah. But
that's hard to believe. I mean, it's just gone so fast. Anyway,
right?
Yes.
So, but Bill Huber's fantastic. We love him very much. And so, his series on that has been so much fun to read. Like really, really good. And that's one of those things where I was like, oh man, it's gonna be hard to go back and find all the links to all of them in his, his very active Twitter feed, especially after the schedule came out. I was like, wait a minute, no, it's like the same thing that we were talking about with Brendan Rupp's, Unpacking the Future Packers series, where you can just go to the website that Bill writes for, which is an SI outlet, Fan Nation, whatever it's called. Click on his name on one of the articles, and it goes to all the articles he's written, and just scroll down through those to find the ones from this series. So
perfect. I love that feature. Yeah,
it's the thing to do. So
those sound really good. I like the idea of getting, as to know these players as humans. And when they were younger, what happened in their life to make them who they are. And we'll remember these things as years go by, whether they're playing with our team or not, or another team. And hopefully they're, going to have successful careers no matter what. But, and I also like what you said, that it was long form written. It's not just, it's like reading is something I don't do much anymore. I used to read all the time. I was like a member of 3 different book clubs, and it's like, in literature, and it's like, I don't read anymore. I'm becoming so like, my brain, I think it's really important for your brain to read.
Yes.
I really like audio, audio books is handy, but it's not quite the same.
Yep.
I love those recommendations.
Same exact. I don't read nearly enough other than, articles, Twitter. I used to read a lot, and my brain is rotting, Dawn. I'm an illiterate slob.
I think, well, not yours. Mine is. I'm becoming.
Right, Matt. You've become an idiot.
Those are great, Maddie. Thank you.
Yeah.
What's
your
third?
One more, because I do have a third one. Yeah. So this is Best Peek Behind the Curtain. This was so fascinating, Dawn. You got to check this one out. This is an article that Albert Brewer wrote, also for Sports Illustrated, kind of a different facet somewhere in their corporate structure. This is more like the national stuff. So Albert Brewer wrote this article called 2024 NFL Schedule, Why the NFL is All In on Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Now, here's what I love about it, right? So it's talking about how the schedule makers determined various, elements of the schedule, because, obviously there's a lot of computation and, permutations and trying to sort out the best way to do this. But, as you're looking at all the different, potential combinations, permutations, formats for the schedule, some are going to, have more teams or certain teams with more, attention to them, whether that's opening the season or having more nighttime games, more primetime games, more like they're the only team playing games. And so this sort of like interview that Albert Breer did with like the schedule gurus, they were
Mhm.
very open about the fact that's like, yes, we are pushing certain narratives. We are saying we want to see, you know, a lot of eyes on Aaron Rodgers and the Jets because he'll be back. And that's what we were trying to do last season. It didn't work out really well. Got a lot of bad Jets games in prime time.
Mhm.
So like we are very much leaning into certain things. Like we're leaning into giving a lot of spotlight for the Chiefs, for the Cowboys, because the Cowboys have a million fans everywhere. You know, kind of the way they talked about it was just like the things that, you know, because if you look at the schedule and the way it's all kind of laid out, you might be like, oh man, Chiefs sure get a lot of love here. It's like they do, and that's intentional. And so to learn that, it's like, well, of course, it makes sense because in the end, it's the bottom line. It's how can the NFL make the most money. So it's like, oh, yeah, that's for real. They're doing that on purpose. And like maybe that shouldn't be surprising, but like just the way how they're just very like matter of fact about it kind of blew my mind. So really, really a fascinating read. I highly recommend that one. In fact, I think like of all the things that I've talked about maybe recently, over the last month, maybe even, that might be the one to find and to check out, folks. That was a good one.
I like that because we were talking about the schedule making last week.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually looking at that article or that website again, the NFL website about because it's really it, like you say, it's computations, but it's six or seven NFL executives who really are pulling the strings.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have to have a narrative. They have to be telling a story. They have to be creating excitement. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It makes a better
I like
product
that. I
overall.
like
So
that. So it could backfire again. A lot of eyes are going to be. I love that. I love that the Jets have to go to the Niners for the first
oh
game.
my gosh, that is
I mean, are they trying to? Yeah. So that's interesting that they're trying to
Mhm.
push the Rodgers, but then they're like not making it easy
Yeah. No,
on him.
they made the Jets schedule kind of it was supposed to be the teams they have to play, but the way how they set it up, they really made it challenging for the Jets, which I think is fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Very good. I know that was probably one of my. I should have mentioned that earlier. One of my favorite. I don't even know why I know that, but I did see that one somehow or
Mhm.
another. And I was like, at least it's not our team, but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
Yep.
So, well, hello to Hey Mona. Hey Mona. So I just asked Mona before we need to acknowledge one other thing
Mhm.
before we log off.
Go for it.
And this is also not football. My other passion, true crime. So there's been a trial that a large part of the nation is paying attention to.
Okay.
Even people that aren't into true crime are watching this trial. There's actually two right now that are really important. One is in Boston, and it's a woman who's accused of hitting her boyfriend, who is a Boston police officer, with her car and killing him
Oh,
while drunk. But the defense is saying no, it's a Boston cop who killed them, and they're trying to frame her. So it's fascinating. It's like really interesting, and the defense attorneys are really good. It's juicy trial. Not all
mhm.
of them are that good. And then there's also the Chad Daybell trial, which is the second part. It was the couple who like were trying to form a cult, but they were too stupid to be able to do it. And they were, but they're murderers, and they just had a trail of bodies in their wake, and
Uh-huh.
unfortunately, a couple of children. But
Oof.
today, yeah, it's just awful, awful, awful people. But today, it's been going on for I think 4 weeks now. It's supposed to be a 10-week trial. This one, the other one is a 6-week trial. I don't think this one's going to be 10 weeks, but today the prosecution, the state rested, meaning that it's the defense's turn to take over with their case in chief and call their witnesses. And he claims he needs 4 weeks, but I don't think he does. But he's just a big bluff for this defense attorney. So the prosecution rested. The judge is like, "Are you wanting to?" Because they didn't say they were going to rest, and then it's like,
Mhm.
"Okay, we rested." And the judge comes back after a short break and says, "Hey, guess what? There's a mistake on the indictment.
What?
There's 3 murder victims, so it was on one of the indictments. with the dates. And it's like, you did not prove that this happened on these dates, because he wasn't killed on those dates. It was killed on it was like September 22nd, 23rd instead of 8th and 9th. Somebody made a boo-boo in the indictment.
Oh, no.
And it went all the way through. I mean, this trial is costing the state of Idaho a small fortune, because they had to try these guys. Anyway, it was Heart Attack City, if you're watching, and the grandparents of the victim who the date was wrong on, because he was ready to say, well, you haven't proved murder of this child. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, those grandparents are there. They're going to have because his dad is dead because she murdered his dad. And then she's in jail already, and she's in prison for life. So now it's the other guy. But anyway, so they're all he has. And I was just like, everybody who was watching and paying attention live was just like, thankfully it wasn't all three of them. But anyway, yeah, they're getting it resolved. They're getting it resolved. But our friend here in the chat, Mona, she was watching. She's usually ahead of me, and we were texting today, and I said, hold on to your hat. Make sure you listen to the hearing afterwards. Because,
That's
so
wild.
Matt's got to listen to all this. Poor Matt.
That's crazy. I mean, I just love the way you started that with like, they try to start a cult, but they're too stupid to do it. Like, that was great.
They are. Oh, these people, Matt. Oh, you should see my shorts. I've got a couple funny shorts about them, but these people, just like, they were really little. Like, yeah. Anyway, it's so dumb. They're really not smart people, especially the guy on trial, the husband, dude, guy she married for 2 weeks and before they got arrested.
Oof. Goodness.
Anyway, about that. So if anybody's watching, I should have said spoiler alert if you're watching the Chad Daybell trial, because some people are probably watching it. Spoiler alert! I just gave away the ending. It's all good. Whoopsie. It's all good. I mean, but if you're really watching and you're into it, you're like sick about it.
Sure.
Because he's also doing his job, because he's got to protect the case, because they could have thrown out the whole trial on a mistrial or on appeal. At least if he would have, because he was right, there was a mistake. And if he would have taken the murder of JJ out, at least the other two would have continued. They would have continued on. He still would have been charged with the two. So, yeah. And I think it would have been mistrial. I don't know if they could have come back with that from that, or if they could have retried him. But anyway. So, yeah, it's been an exciting week in true crime.
Goodness gracious.
And I'm sure Katie, I'll tell Katie afterwards, spoiler alert, because she is watching this and she might not have seen it. Yeah. And also some of our other friends, whose name are now escaping me, that listen to our show. True crime. Why can't I think his kid's name is Ricky? I can think of his little Robin.
Yeah.
I think of the little boys because he's so cute. He's so cute. The cutest kid in the world. He's got curly hair like you.
It's curlier. Yeah.
It's so cute. All right, Maddie. Well, thank you for letting me. And I wouldn't have done that, but Mona was in the chat and I put her through. I was waiting for her to actually text me when she got through. Yeah.
So do we have a guest next week, Dawn? Do we have a confirmed guest?
We have a guest next week.
Yeah. Who do we have?
Do you know who it is?
I can't remember. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, I thought you were leading up to.
It's kind of both. It's kind of, I'm trying to, tee it up for you, but I can't remember who it was. So
drum roll, please. It is. I want to double check. Sorry, I went too fast.
You're on top of things here.
I was just looking at this. Oh yeah, of course. If you know him on Twitter, he's at Extend on Twitter, and that's our Justice McCain.
Right. I can't wait to talk to him.
Joining us. I know we've been asking him on for like 2 months now, so it's been a while in the making, and we're super excited. And then in 2 weeks after that, we're going to have Zane.
Oh yeah.
The Green Bay Packers fence guy.
Yeah, the fence guy. That'd be awesome. Ooh, some good guests coming up here.
Yeah, he's more than a fence guy. If you know, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So really excited about that. So now I
Well,
can't find our stream. So yeah,
well,
so
folks, you got
that's
to
that.
look forward to some good guests coming up here.
We
And
do. We do.
let's bring it home, Don. Friends, we'd love to have a chance to interview you and shout you out if you're a subscriber and a football fan. If you'd like to nominate someone to be a guest on our podcast, please let us know. Our DMs are open on all the social platforms. And folks, when you subscribe to our podcast, you help us to keep spreading the love in our community. And the best way to help this podcast grow is by sharing it with your friends and family.
Yes, Maddie, that's right. Because we love you. We're so glad to know you. So lucky to know you and to be fans of the most storied team in the NFL. We appreciate
Mm-hmm.
your support, your subscriptions, and sharing our pod. And we look forward to seeing you next week on
Hey, we like your pod.
Football in general comes down to discipline and people owning their roles. And when you aren't disciplined or you go outside the scheme, bad stuff happens.